The very first time I watched Pacific Rim, I wasn't that impressed, honestly. A little underwhelmed. But now, so many years later, rewatching it, I have to admit, my opinion's changed. Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I am here to re-review after rewatching Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was a movie that I honestly, the first time I saw it, I couldn't believe all of the people who were loving this movie. I mean, it didn't do a whole lot in the box office, but it did well overseas. But there was just like a cult fan base who were like, this movie's awesome, it's amazing. They told me I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought, did I watch another movie? Like, really? So many years later, I wanted to give this movie a second chance. I wanted to rewatch it and see, will I like it more? Will I understand the fandom? And I don't know if I would go that far. I still don't think this movie is amazing, but I do like it a little more than I did the first time. It came out in 2013. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro. And the plot is, you see that in the future, these giant monsters arrive on Earth. They're called kaiju. And they show up in these big cities and they're causing massive destruction and mayhem. So all of these world leaders in these countries come together, pool their resources to create and finance giant robots that humans have to physically go into and pilot. They're called Jaegers. And with these Jaegers, we're able to combat the war against these monsters, aliens, whatever they are. Originally, I thought that whenever you had Jaegers fighting the kaiju, I thought it was cool. I thought the effects looked great. I thought it was shot in a cool way. And it's obviously cool to watch giant robots fight giant monsters. How can that not be fun? But it was everything in between. It was the characters, it was the writing. I just thought it wasn't that special. Rewatching it now, I'm not saying it's so amazing, but Charlie Hunnam, he's somebody that people don't think is all that good of an actor, or they don't think he has a personality. The very beginning of this movie, you see him with his brother, and they're partnered together to use this Jaeger, because you have to be partnered with somebody. That's how intense it is to go about this. And at the beginning, he is cocky, he is brash, he has a personality. It's not until his brother gets killed in action that the movie jumps ahead 5 years, which I kind of have an issue with. The first 20 minutes, they jump ahead so many years explaining and setting up the plot that I'm like, I want to see that stuff. But we jump 5 years and we see Charlie Hunnam, who's now sort of depressing, and he feels bad for his brother's death. So he lost all of that personality, basically. So I don't blame him. It's really the writing that doesn't give him anything all that more interesting to do after his brother dies. The most interesting characters, and these are who I think should have been the main characters. Idris Elba is like the general of this government facility that's recruiting soldiers to join the Jaeger program, and he's great. He's always great. He really is. But he does have that presence. He is that authoritative figure. He is somebody that you buy that used to do this type of stuff, and now he's in charge.
Today we are canceling the apocalypse!
I could have done without the subplot of him with his nose bleeding and he's so obviously sick. The character Mako, who's played by Rinko Kikuchi, I don't know if I said her name right, but he found her when she was a little girl. Her family were killed, and when her city got destroyed, and he took her in. He raised her. He seems like he's being overprotective, but he's being a father figure to her, and that's a story that should have taken front and center. That's the most interesting stuff in the movie, and it's kind of in the background, just to have Charlie Hunnam deal with the typical bully in this academy that I'm like, this is all forced and not that interesting, if I'm being honest. Charlie Day is another character. He's playing a scientist. Him and this other guy, they're both scientists who are competing over their research over the kaiju and how it all works. And none of that I really found interesting. None of that I really found compelling. Still, I think Charlie Day, I like him in other things. I find him funny, but it didn't really fit here. even the stuff of him bonding brains with an alien, and somehow he gets to see that their race and their back. So I'm like, I didn't care about any of that. The only stuff with Charlie Day that I did like was when he goes to meet Hannibal Chow, who's played by Ron Perlman, because it's Ron Perlman. But the best parts of this movie is the action, is when you see these Jaegers going after the kaiju, because a lot of the fights are in the water, and I love that. It makes sense that you'd want to get them away from the city if you can. And the way it's shot, the water, the effects, just it looks very realistic, especially in Blu-ray. Like, you're watching it, you're going, wow, this is impressive. Just the scenes where it's raining, very stylized. It's something that Guillermo was able to bring in to not only make it a cool monster movie, but have it look cool to watch as well. There's a battle in Hong Kong that's just like, yeah, seeing this Jaeger pick up a boat and strike the kaiju with it, I'm like, more of this, please.
Come on, let's do this!
Obviously, I don't hate this movie. I don't dislike this movie. Even the first time, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't impressed the first time. This time, in retrospect, watching it again, I liked it a lot more. I did find it more interesting. There's still some things that I wish it could have done better. There's still certain characters that I think should have been more in the forefront and should have taken front and center, and other characters I could have done without. And it is a long movie. It's over 2 hours, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy Pacific Rim the second time around. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of Pacific Rim. Did you love it from the beginning? Was it something that had to grow on for you too? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!